Hello, I wanted to make this video as a tribute to one of my all-time musical heroes of one of my all-time favourite bands, Rush. Drummer Neil Peart passed away last Tuesday at the age of 67 of brain cancer. Um, None of us, the fans, none of us knew he had brain cancer. He was a very private person. He's always been an introvert, and that's absolutely up to him if he doesn't want to divulge certain parts of his personal life. If he wants it to be private, that's absolutely fine. Um, Probably better to do that actually than making his death a big public thing. Um, I just wanted to make this quick tribute video, just quickly talking about him. Neil Peart, in my opinion, was one of the all-time musically he was one of the absolute greatest technical drummers ever. Um, he's right up there. I've always sort of, in terms of a ranking system, I've always put him kind of just underneath Bill Bruford. And I'd probably say that Neil Peart would probably agree. A lot of people say he's the greatest drummer of all time, and I wouldn't deny that. But I think he would say he wouldn't say he's the greatest drummer of all time because he was that kind of guy. Um, and a lot of his inspiration from his playing came from guys like Bill Buford. Um, but he was definitely in the top three for me, probably second best, just behind Bill Buford. But what made him so much more special was his lyric writing, and his lyrical ability. How much of an absolute poet he was. Um, Neil's lyrics, uh, Rush's lyrics have been I've never personally I've never listened to lyrics that have been so relatable to me personally. Uh, Neil Peart is, like I said, he's an introvert who wasn't like one of the popular kids in high school. And some of the things he talks about and some of the things he says in his lyrics, it's just like that is exactly how I feel, and a lot of it is describes exactly how I felt, and I know loads and loads of Rush fans have felt the exact same way. His lyrics were so beautiful and life affirming, um, especially in his kind of later stuff after they went away from the more kind of science fiction orientated stuff and they started talking about just sort of life lessons and just sort of parts of everyday life, sort of in their kind of late 80s onwards kind of stuff. That kind of became a bit more personal. Especially from them then onwards, it was so relatable to me. The lyrics, they're so beautiful and so life affirming, and they have genuinely Rush's music and Neil's lyrics specifically have genuinely helped me through some hard times. I've had depression for about 7 years, 8 years, and I got into Rush round about half a year after I started to have depression, um, and it was always I felt like it was always there for me. Depression. If it depends on the people, depression isn't always something you can talk about. Some people, your family might be there for you, but sometimes you don't feel comfortable talking about things, and sometimes you can just find solace in listening to music and lyrics that just express how you feel, and they give you therapy and a sort of medicinal sort of value that way. And Rush were the number one band for me in that way. I'd say definitely. Whenever I'm feeling kind of down, or they were always there. Rush's music was always there to cheer me up. Obviously, there are other bands that are also help me like that. Like whenever I'm feeling kind of shit, Vandergraaf Generator personally have always kind of been a band that I've kind of reached to as well in the more recent years. But I don't want to go too deep into this. But back when I was really first getting into Rush, um, I was in a relationship at the time that wasn't very healthy for me, and the way that the other person acted and the way she treated me wasn't exactly great, and it didn't help my depression or my low self esteem or anything. Not that I was the perfect boyfriend or anything, but there's definitely problems, and there have been self-esteem issues that have been carried on since then that I still have. But I remember back then, this is like 6 years ago. I remember whenever I felt really horrible about the relationship, or whenever I felt really low, I could always listen to Rush, and it would always give me a boost. It was always there for me, and just Rush have just helped me so much through my depression, and Neil's lyrics especially have helped me so much. And I just think he's one of the most amazing drummers, one of the most amazing lyricists, and seems to me such a wonderful guy. If you watch his interviews, he's an introvert, but if you watch him during interviews talking about books and things like that, he's so passionate about it. Just a guy that is so passionate, and such an artist in the truest sense of the word. I didn't agree with his early political stuff with Ayn Rand and his sort of love of her books, which is fine. But I think from probably moving pictures onwards, that's when his lyrics really started to touch me. Though I would say the Fountain of Lamneth from Caress of Steel. I think the lyrics are absolutely beautiful in that, and that's why I've always thought it's such an underrated song. The music's great as well, but um, the lyrics are just beautiful in that song, and it doesn't get the attention it deserves, I think. Um, and I want to send my condolences to his family, his friends. Obviously, I don't know them very well, and of course to Rush and their families, who I assume um, were friends with him as well. Geddy and Alex. I'm sure they knew about it. I'm sure they knew about his illness, and they respected his wishes to keep it private. And they still haven't really said anything about it since he died, which is absolutely fine. And the reason this video's been a bit late is because I found out about it on Friday night. There, about 3 days ago, I actually found out that he died. But I was in Edinburgh with my girlfriend. We were celebrating our 3 year anniversary, and I wanted to make sure I did the video right, and I didn't. I didn't want to make just a quick video while I was busy and doing other things. I wanted to sit down and make sure I actually um, made it properly. I actually found out while we were in a KFC, we were we'd ordered our food and we were sitting waiting, and I was sitting on my phone and I was scrolling through Facebook, and it came up, and I was like shocked. And not only to make it worse, but that Despacito song was playing at the same time in KFC, so that made it even worse. Um, it was just a bad moment. It was just the worst time to find out. Well, there was never going to be a good time, but it's sad to know that there's over the next 10 years or so, this decade's going to have a lot of famous deaths, as every decade does. But a lot of my heroes, especially, are kind of in their 70s and 80s and that. So sadly, he isn't Neil isn't going to be the only one. But a lot. I think one thing I've noticed, a lot of people are being quite negative about his death. Like, I saw someone on Facebook saying, um, like, this is proof that God doesn't exist. Life would not stop kicking this guy while he was down. His daughter died in a car crash. Then his wife died half a year later. This was back in 96, 97. And then he died of brain cancer. It's like, what a horrible way to like have your life. But I disagree. Neil Peart remarried, and he had more children. I think he at least had one more child after that. Um, and he was, if you listen to his lyrics that came out after that, they're so life affirming. He was never the kind of guy that would just talk about life getting you down, and just let it get him down like that. He always talked about things like, yeah, if life's shit, you just need to keep going, just be strong, sort of thing. It's a very simplified way of putting it, but he always had this never give up sort of edge to his lyrics, this sort of side to his lyrics. It never had that. That always had that message of like, don't give up. So I don't think of him as having a negative life at all. Yeah, some horrible things happened to him, as horrible things happen to pretty much everybody. But I don't think he had a horrible life at all. I think he very much enjoyed his life, and he had a great life, and he got to see loads and loads of parts of the world. He got to put, his dream job was obviously being a musician. He got to do that. He got to write books. Like I said, he traveled around the world doing music with his friends. yeah, some horrible stuff happened, but I think all round, I mean, if you watch his interviews, his more recent interviews from like 2011, 2012, he's so happy and so full of life and stuff, you know. So I wouldn't say that he was a negative person at all, or that he had a negative life. Though I personally don't believe in God, and neither did Neil Peart. He was very much an atheist. I wouldn't say that. So anyone who sort of thinks Neil Peart is having this horrible life, I'd completely disagree with that. I think he had a wonderful life. I think he had a life that was full of fun, full of adventures, and uh, unfortunately, you know, bad things do happen. But he was always able to pick himself up and you know keep going down that road as he is the Ghost Rider. So I just wanted to make this video. I feel kind of bad I didn't make videos on certain other people, but you know you can't do them on everybody that dies. Like Ray Thomas, he died about 2 years ago, and I didn't do a video on him. But Neil Peart really, I've been such a fan of him for so many years now that it really touched me in a certain way. You know, he's Rush are my probably my all time favorite band next to Iron Maiden. So it really uh, means a lot to me, his life and the music that he's given us and stuff. So yeah, that's all I wanted to say. Really, just this wee tribute to Neil Peart. I'll probably do another review or list tomorrow. We'll see. But anyway, thanks for watching. Rest in peace, Neil Peart. Love you so much and love all your music and your lyrics. And thanks for all the beautiful, life affirming messages. Like last thing I want to say, I've read people online saying that they were like suicidal and stuff, and then they got into Rush and they listened to his lyrics and he genuinely helped them. So the amount of people he helped um, is like innumerable with his music. The amount of positivity that he gave us, and along with Geddy and Alex, their brilliant music, just bringing it in. And Geddy sings it with so much emotion as well, even though they're not his lyrics. It's just amazing. Rush, they're just an amazing band, and Neil Peart was an amazing, absolutely tremendous drummer. Anyway, thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.